Good morning. It's Wednesday, and it's time for our devotion together. Today we look at Hebrews 11:29 through 12, verse 2. This will be our sermon text for Sunday, continuing what we started this past Sunday in the beginning of Hebrews 11, and the rest of the Sundays in August we'll look at chapter 12 and 13 in Hebrews. This passage for today in Hebrews 11 is this kind of big long sermon about looking at people of what we call the Old Testament through the lens of faith. And then chapter 12, the beginning of chapter 12, picks it up with and therefore we ought to be encouraged. Let us keep moving forward. Let us keep pushing through persecution. Let us keep pushing through hardships. Let us hold the faith. Let us check our sin and keep moving forward in transformational work, right? And so, we'll continue to note in Hebrews 11 that the people cited are not perfect. Their lives are not exemplary front to back of faith or obedience, and yet there's one little piece of a verse in here. Their weakness was made strong. Their weakness was transformed into strength. Let's just read it. By faith, people passed through the Red Sea as on dry land, but when the Egyptians tried to do so, they were drowned. By faith, the walls of Jericho fell after the army had marched around them for 7 days. By faith, the prostitute Rahab, because she welcomed the spies, was not killed with those who were disobedient. And what more shall I say? I do not have time to tell about Gideon, Barak, Samson, and Jephthah, about David and Samuel and the prophets, who through faith conquered kingdoms, administered justice, and gained what was promised, who shut the mouths of lions, quenched the fury of the flames, and escaped the edge of the sword, whose weakness was turned to strength, and who became powerful in battle and routed foreign armies. Women received back their dead, raised to life again. There were others who were tortured, refusing to be released so that they might gain an even better resurrection. Some faced jeers and flogging and even chains and imprisonment. They were put to death by stoning. They were sawed in two. They were killed by the sword. They went about in sheepskins and goatskins, destitute, persecuted, and mistreated. The world was not worthy of them. They wandered in deserts and mountains, living in caves and in holes in the ground. These were all commended for their faith, yet none of them received what had been promised, since God had planned something better for us, so that only together with us would they be made perfect. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. We walk by faith and not by sight. No gracious words we hear from one who spoke as none e'er spoke, but we believe him near. We may not touch his hands and side, nor follow where he trod, yet in his promise we rejoice, and cry, my Lord and God. Help then, O Lord, our unbelief, and may our faith abound, to call on you when you are near, and seek where you are found. That when our life of faith is done, in realms of clearer light, we may behold you as you are, in full and endless sight. We walk by faith and not by sight. No gracious words we hear from one who spoke as none e'er spoke, but we believe him near. Amen.